All right, family, buckle up because we have absolutely massive character news for Wuthering Waves. The 2.8 drip marketing just hit last night, and it's officially confirmed. CHISA is arriving in the very first phase of the update. This is what we've been waiting for. So in this video, we are doing a full, deep dive into everything we know about CHISA so far. We're talking her potential kit, her mind-blowing gameplay style, her role in a team, the best synergies, and why she might just be the most flexible character we've seen yet. This is your one-stop shop for all things CHISA. But before we jump into the rest of the events, a quick word from today's sponsor. Lootbar.gg is a site that gives you big discounts on your in-game purchases. Let's take Wuthering Waves as an example. You can actually see the price difference right away when you compare. The process is super simple. Pick the pack you want, click Top Up, choose your payment method, and that's it. Your rewards show up right on your account. And don't worry, your login info is completely cleared after the transaction, so it's safe. New users can get up to 21% off plus additional discount coupons from the link in the description. And yes, first-time top-up bonuses are available as well. So CHISA's drip marketing just dropped. And from her official artwork and teaser, we get this super elegant, composed schoolgirl aesthetic. It's a look that's instantly popular, and they confirmed in the text that she is, in fact, a student. That background might even be a little sneak peek at the 3.0 region, but that's a theory for another day. Now, the giant scissors as a weapon, immediately iconic. But here's the plot twist that's going to shock a lot of people. Despite rocking a massive blade and looking like she could carve through an army, CHISA is not being positioned as a main DPS unit. From all the info circulating, it looks like she's actually coming out as a support character. Let that sink in for a second. So let's break down exactly what we're working with, based on the marketing and the community speculation. First, the basics. CHISA is expected to be a Havoc element Broadblade user. Now that alone makes her stand out, because Broadblade characters are typically your main DPS or sub-DPS bruisers, right? Think of the typical heavy hitters, but here's the twist. CHISA is here to fill a support role, and not just any support. The word on the street is that she's being designed as a universal damage over time, DOT, support. What does that mean? It means she'll be applying damage over time while also packing healing and, get this, multiple different buff types. We're hearing about 2 to 3 distinct buffing abilities. And if these buffs are truly universal and not locked to, say, just Havoc teammates, that means you can literally slot her into almost any team comp in the game and get insane value. In terms of raw damage potential at S0, that's no copies, just her base form, the expectation is she'll be around the level of characters like Canarilla and Lupa. That's pretty respectable for a unit who is primarily built for support and isn't meant to be a straight-up hypercarry damage dealer. So, to recap, Havoc element, Broadblade user, universal DOT support. Got it? Good. Now let's get to the really crazy part. So we have a Havoc element Broadblade character who's a support. Sounds like a weird mix, but they're making it work by giving her what is, and I am not exaggerating, one of the coolest rumored mechanics I've heard. Dual form gameplay. That's right. CHISA doesn't just wield that standard scissor blade we saw in the marketing art. Oh no. It seems she's going to start combat with that scissor weapon, but mid-fight she can switch it up. The rumor is she can switch into a full-on chainsaw mode. If this is true, that is unbelievably hype and incredibly unique for the game. This suggests a transformation or form shift mechanic, potentially making her the first dual form support in Wuthering Waves. Imagine one form being dedicated to support and healing, while the other form ramps up the damage and those damage over time effects. The visual of her pulling out a chainsaw in the middle of a battle is just chef's kiss. I cannot wait to see the official gameplay trailer for this if it's real. All right, let's talk kit. What can we actually expect CHISA to do in battle? As a support, the foundation is healing. And from what we know, CHISA has built-in healing that is potent enough to keep your entire team alive on her own. So she's your sustain, right off the bat. On top of that, she has those multiple buffs we mentioned. She's expected to provide about 2 to 3 unique team-wide buffs. These could change based on her form or the timing of her skills. We're talking offensive buffs like straight-up damage percent increases, crit rate, crit damage, maybe even elemental damage amplification. There's potential for entirely new effects we've never seen before. Then, there's her DOT specialty. As a universal dot support, she'll be applying her own damage over time effects, and she might even be able to enhance existing dot effects from other characters on your team. So if you have a character who applies a bleed or a burn, CHISA could potentially make that effect even stronger. Now, for all of you who still want to see those big numbers, there is a path for her to be a damage dealer. But here's the catch. It's locked behind her sequences, aka her constellations. Starting from S3, she apparently unlocks more of her damage potential, allowing her to function as a solid sub-DPS. And if you really want to go all in and run her as a main DPS, you're likely going to need her at S6. So, for the free-to-play players and the low spenders, she's an amazing support. For the whales who want to max her out, she transforms into a potential main event damage dealer. That's actually a really smart way to design a character. And of course, underpinning all of this is that rumored dual-form gameplay, which could give her two completely different playstyles in a single kit. One with the precise, elegant scissors, and another with the brutal, aggressive chainsaw. It adds a layer of depth and uniqueness that we just haven't seen yet. Okay, so she sounds amazing on her own, but how does she play with others? Let's talk team synergies. The first team comp that immediately comes to mind is with Cardia. In this setup, you'd run Cardia as your main DPS, Sakona as your sub-DPS, and CHISA as your support. Here, CHISA plays the role of the buffer and the DOT enabler, while also providing the healing to keep everyone healthy. Cardia gets to feast on all those damage buffs and amplifications, while Sakona brings her own additional buffs and off-field damage to the table. The second powerhouse team we're looking at is the Zani and Phoebe duo. This would be Zani as your main consistent damage dealer, Phoebe as your sub-DPS, and again, CHISA rounding it out as your support. It's another incredibly strong team where CHISA's buffs, healing, and DOT effects would be put to incredible use. But here's the key takeaway, and it's a massive one. CHISA is not locked to a single element. Look at the teams we just mentioned. One is likely a Spectro comp with Cardia. The other is an Arrow comp with Zani. Her Havoc support kit is being described as universal enough to fit into any lineup. If this holds true, she could easily become one of the most valuable characters in the entire game, on the same tier as a shorekeeper. That is absolutely insane to think about. It's still early, and we need to see the official kit, but the potential is absolutely there. Especially for my free-to-play players, if you're looking for a single, plug-and-play support that you can just slot into any team you build in the future, CHISA is shaping up to be that character. So, let's bring it all home. CHISA is shaping up to be one of the most unique and flexible characters in Wuthering Waves so far. Just think about it. A Havoc Element Broadblade user, who is actually a support that heals, applies universal buffs, deals damage over time, and might have a dual-form mechanic switching between scissors and a chainsaw. I mean, come on, that is a kit that has must-pull written all over it. Her rumored team flexibility just adds a ton of value, making her a fantastic long-term investment for your account. Whether you're pulling for that top-tier schoolgirl aesthetic or you're desperately in need of a powerful, versatile support, CHISA is looking pretty good. She is undoubtedly the headlining character of this patch, set to debut in the first phase of version 2.8. I want to hear from you now. What do you think about CHISA? Are you sold? Are you saving all your pulls for her the second she drops? Let me know down in the comments. If you found this breakdown helpful, do me a huge favor. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss anything. And stay tuned, because with the official drip starting, we have a lot more on the way. We're expecting a second character drip very soon, most likely by Iji, so we'll be covering that the moment it drops. But for now, that is everything we know about CHISA, thanks to the latest drip marketing and all the speculation swirling around. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.